Exciting has turned into a throwaway word. I've heard it slapped on everything, and most of it meant nothing once the first magazine ran dry. So I've used a different test. In 2026, exciting hasn't meant new. It's meant the gun that changed my habits. Exciting hasn't meant expensive either. It's meant a handgun that has changed what I carried, what I practiced with, or what I trusted after real time on the gun. This list has come out of actual use. Range days, ugly strings, rushed reloads, and those little moments where a pistol either earned respect or got exposed. Some of these looked boring on paper, then turned into the gun I kept grabbing. 2 rules. I didn't pick the newest flex piece, and every pick has had one moment that forced a decision. Even the bonus has earned its slot. One of these made me break my own rule, and the number 1 spot has done something in its category that I didn't expect to admit out loud. Honestly, for once. The Ruger RXM had come to the range like a spare tire. Texas sun, grit in the air, tailgate down, and I'd already decided it was going to be fine and nothing more. I'd started with a simple draw to first hit on an 8-inch steel plate at about 12 yards. First run, it had felt flat. Not bad, just lifeless. My sights had bounced. My pace had gotten greedy, and the hits had sounded a half beat late. That little embarrassment stung because it hadn't been the gun's fault. It had been mine, so I'd made one change. I'd stopped trying to bully the recoil and let the gun return on its own. I'd press the trigger like I meant it, not like I was racing a comment section. Second run snapped. The steel rang fast, clean, and repeatable, and my brain went quiet in the best way. I'd looked down at the RXM like it had just talked back. That was the moment. It hadn't begged for attention, it had taken it. Exciting in 2026 hasn't meant flashy. It's meant a pistol that rewired a habit in one magazine. And yeah, I'd still kept it under suspicion. No cleaning, no mercy. I've seen great first dates turn into problems once the gun got dirty and tired. January had made everything honest. Thick jacket, seatbelt, cold hands. That was the kind of day where a carry gun stayed invisible on me, or it started a fight with me. The Springfield Echelon started that fight in my own truck. I left a parking lot and did that check I never bragged about. Garment sweep, hand to the grip, seatbelt across the chest. The whole thing snagged hard, not a little bump. A dead stop that made my stomach drop, because that was not range talk anymore. That was the moment I realized gear could betray me when I did not get a second try. I sat there with my hand hovering, jaw tight, staring at the wheel like it owed me an answer. I adjusted once, then caught myself adjusting again, and it turned personal fast. If I had to keep managing the setup, then the setup had started managing me. Later, I settled it with one blunt check, seated draw, jacket on cold hands, one hit, no warm-up, no do-overs. It worked. And that made it worse because the snag earlier was real too. I drove home with the Echelon still on me, unsure if it earned a spot or earned a warning. And the next one did not argue. It kept score, and it made me pay for every lazy habit I thought I had gotten away with. The bell over the door popped in an Austin pawn shop, and the place smelled like carpet and gun oil. I was not hunting for a CZ. I was killing time, half looking at glass and used holsters, when the SP01 sat there like it had no business sharing a case with bargain junk. The clerk slid it across the counter and the weight hit first. Cold steel, honest heft. The rails felt slick from use, not from polish. It had that somebody actually shot the smoothness, and that was the trap. CZ had just brought the old school 75 talk back into 2026 with the CZ 75 Legend at shot. So seeing an SP01 in a pawn case felt like bad timing for my wallet. You could feel the market whispering, "Steel is back," and I hated that it worked on me. I racked it once, then stopped because I could already feel myself justifying it. The clerk gave me the look and said it would not sit long. I believed him, but I did not trust myself. I bought it anyway, and the whole walk to the truck felt like either a win or a mistake I had paid cash for. By the time I started the engine, I still had not decided which. I invited a buddy over for a special barbecue day, and that flipped a switch in me. When somebody came to my place, I wanted the day smooth. No drama, no surprises. Just smoke rolling and meat cooking. That was why the Bodyguard 2.0 felt right at first. It disappeared while I grabbed supplies and ran errands. Then I did a pocket check in the truck, and my stomach dropped. For half a second, the gun felt wrong, canted into a dumb angle like it had shifted on its own. I froze. Not because I thought it would fire, but because I hated how fast my confidence could crack over something that small. I fixed it, and it sat right again, but the comfort was gone. At the store, in line, a guy crowded up behind me and started that impatient breathing. Probably nothing. Still, my brain ran the numbers. If something turned sideways right here, would this tiny pistol show up like a real one? Or would it turn into a regret I carried home? Back at the house, I kept prepping the barbecue, but the Bodyguard stayed on my mind. It felt like peace, and it felt like a dare. Next one looked familiar and safe, but it made people overconfident. Last month, February, I had been out on a normal run in Austin. Nothing special. I had pulled into a lot, handled my business, and walked back to the truck like it was any other day. One guy lingering near the edge of the cars made my brain tighten up, not fear. More like that irritated alert feeling that told me to stop coasting. I broke my own rule and swapped to the Glock 43 XMOS setup right there. The second it sat on me, it felt finished. It rode flat like it had been shaped for my body instead of just stuffed there. The grip did not roll away, did not hide, did not make me hunt for it. When my hand went down, it landed in the same place like muscle memory had already lived with it. The draw path felt clean. No snag, no shirt fight, no stupid little adjustment afterward to make it comfortable again. It just locked in and stayed locked in. That's why it felt like gold. Not because it was flashy, but because it saved motion and killed doubt. The guy drifted off, and nothing happened, but the part that stuck was how fast my shoulders relaxed once that gun was there. I drove away, wondering if that comfort was hard-earned trust, or the kind of comfort that makes you careless. That's why the number one pick hit different. It hasn't just shot nice. It has pushed me into changing a rule I've kept for years, and that's not something I've said lightly. Here's the honest part. Even the winner has had a catch. One detail has kept me paying attention, because trust gets expensive the second you get lazy with it. That doubt has kept me training. So yeah, exciting hasn't meant flashy. It's meant the gun that has kept winning when it counted, even when I tried to nitpick it. If your pick didn't show up, I've wanted to hear the story. Now I want yours. What handgun has earned your respect the hard way? And what gun has burned you after the hype? I'm Steve. Drop it in the comments, names, and receipts.